Maya a form of Bhai Sukhraj?
When God created, or when He had the forma, this thought of creation. So God doesn't have a father, God doesn't have a guru, God is His own energy source. Let's use that word energy. Chetan Satta, that's what they call it in Gurbani, or Chetan Satta, His energy, His force, as Harjinder Singh says. He's His own energy source. No one started Him, no one can finish Him. Just summarising, so this links into those questions. Bhai Sukhraj Singh mentioned that we're real, but we're not real. Why? Because we're real now. We won't be real maybe in 100 years' time because we're dead, we'll be forgotten about. So logically, we're technically not real. The only thing that's real, or the only thing that's truth, is God. God exists in Nirgun. That word means, Gun means quality or characteristic, Nir means none. No quality, no characteristic. In other words, formless. That's what how they translate it. When you see on the screen, it'll say formless. God exists in Sargun. All qualities, all characteristics. They came in the form of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib. They stayed in 10 forms, and now they're in the form of the Shabad Sri Guru Granth Sahib on any Gurbani. In a Gurkha Sahib, anywhere, that's that form. It's through the medium of the Sargun that we can find the Nirgun. We have to go through the Sargun to find the Nirgun. We can't just sit down and do meditation. We need the Sargun to guide us through that spiritual path. Okay? God's purpose only He knows. We were, when we were, let's say, Harjinder Singh talked about the parallel, but let's say we were, when we were one with God, if we were part of that God before we were sent, we were in peace, in Anand, and God takes a piece of Himself and puts that energy takes out, and He puts it in forms in this world, and the forms of the Jeeves, and then develop the Tirasila Hajum, and they come into where we are. So that energy is within us. God's energy is everywhere. It's Maya means, this word illusion is Maya. That's what it is, illusion. When we say illusion, it means Maya. Maya doesn't just mean money, it means illusion, ultimately, the first translation. It's a veil, it's like a curtain. Our outside eyes, this is what I was talking about, outside ears and our outside eyes see physical stuff, this physical world. We won't be able to see through the veil with these outside eyes. We need the inside eyes to be able to see. To develop the inside eyes, we take a guru. The guru has to be a perfect guru. The perfect guru is the Sargun form himself. I can put myself up as a guru, but obviously I'm not perfect, and I'm not his Sargun form. So it would be a waste of time putting me as a guru. I'll teach you some maths because I'm a maths teacher, but that's probably about it. You need to take the spiritual, only Guru Granth Sahib Ji and his form of the Panch Pyare Santokh Singh said. That's the way you take the Guru. Inside you, he sets your system. It's like in the Nalke in India, you see them when you press them and you pump the water out. Yeah, the water's at the bottom. And to pump them, when they're making you pump, it doesn't start working straight away. You have to pour water down the pump and then pump at the same time, and then the water comes out. In the same way, they have to put Amrit inside of us. Khande Bhatti da Amrit. For that Amrit inside of us, that soul, the Atma, to be realized, otherwise it won't come out. Without putting it in, it won't come out. So the Sargun is the only way through. So nobody created God. Kaljug is just a time, part of time. Satyajug, Treta, Dwapar, now we're in Kaljug. Guru Sahib describes it's too long. So, to go into the depths of that. God exists in everything, even things which seem bad or which seem really weird. For example, without any disrespect, I was speaking to somebody earlier this afternoon, similar question, and I remember when I was at school and a Sikh person was telling me that this is what a Muslim said to him to try and put them off their faith. So you're saying God exists everywhere? He goes, yeah. He goes, so does God exist in our toilet, that kind of thing? He was trying to put him off, and they think, no, obviously God can't exist. But God's energy exists in every particle. Because God, when He created, so coming back to this question, is Maya God? No. Maya is the reflection of God. That's how it's been described. Reflection. It doesn't necessarily mean it's their reflection. It's just because some things in Gurbani is made. I was speaking to another singer earlier this morning. Guru Sahib Ji describes it in a certain way to help us understand, because we can't understand the abstract, because we're not abstract. We're in this gun, we're in these characteristics, we're physical. We can't understand the spiritual because we haven't reached that spiritual stage. So Guru Sahib has to make this system for us to understand. The way he tells us, Maya is the reflection. Another way that Maya is described, God is described as the husband of Maya in Gurbani. Madho. Madho is a word for God. It actually translates to Maya da Pati, husband of God. So Maya is the reflection, Maya is the consort of God. It doesn't mean to say they were married, it's just a way of explaining so people can understand that there's this thing. So Maya is this illusion. We can't see through this veil, this illusion, because we're using our outside eyes, which are attuned to the outside. If, like a frequency, we tune our frequency, we'll move away from our outside eyes and we'll get to the inside eyes. The inside eyes will be able to see everything. We'll be able to see God's particle, wherever God exists, we'll be able to see that. We'll be able to realize that. We'll be able to experience that. Because why? We'll be one with them. Because we'll have gone through the Sargun and we'll be one with the Nirgun. Once we're one with the Nirgun, there's no coming and going. Because the key, going back to something else, I think it might be brought out in tomorrow's talks, that's why I don't want to go in depth regarding it, is this karma idea. Other faiths you can develop spiritually anywhere. You can sit down and do meditation, you can do anything. But your karma that we've collected, they will not be burnt. They will only be burnt through Guru Sahib's Kirpa when we have officially gone through the ceremony. I like the word they use, when we submit to our Guru. When we submit to them and say, you're our Guru, I'm your Chela, then they will start burning those karma. Once those karma are burnt, that's when our inside eyes will start opening. And when our inside eyes start opening, we'll be able to realize this illusion, this falseness. Ultimately, it all stems from love and maybe more an attachment to this world. These questions, who is asking this question? And you might be asking out of respect, but inside, who's doing the work? It's actually our ego. Because our ego doesn't want to accept the existence of God. It is attached to this world. It's not you, it's not me, it's our ego. And it's our ego working. So although these are innocent questions, and you have to ask these questions, otherwise you won't understand, but who's asking them? It's actually not you asking them, it's our egos are asking these questions, because the ego is attached. And our ego is questioning the existence, and questioning this illusion. But until we realize, we develop spiritually, we won't. Now, again, it comes down, I'm going to just, because I think we're coming to the end, and then I think I'm just going to say my piece now, and then these guys will finish. The only way, and again this is with respect, and that's why we hold these camps, we can do as much spirituality as you want, unless we submit to the teachings of Guru Sahib Ji and their way, we won't be saved. We will not be saved. That's a fact. That's not me trying to scare you or saying you have nothing if you're not Amritdhari, because as soon as you get Amritdhari, it doesn't mean you're saved. That Saki that came to my mind, if you're white on the outside, doesn't make you white on the inside. We might look white on the outside because we're sharing all this knowledge. Inside, I know how white I am, and it's not very white on the inside. So that doesn't mean that you've made it. That's just the starting point for you to start the progression. But until we're there, we can't start. Now, to get there, there's a few rules and regulations. And I feel, and I'll always say this, we should work up to those. Because hygienically, to do with health, to do with anything that it says, meat, being committing adultery, tobacco, we've talked about the case. I can't see, 20 years ago, I might have had a worldly argument against those. But now the world talks about that. Hygiene, meat, all the diseases, stay away from it. Alcohol, tobacco, nasha, stay away from it. 50 odd years ago, 100 years ago, when Columbus was selling it around the world, maybe we wouldn't have believed it. But But now we all know, because everybody's telling us about that. Adultery, it might have been rife in the dark ages, but we all know that's wrong. There's nothing wrong with those things. And then there's this istighfar and a bit of prayer that we have to do. They've all got spiritual meanings, but maybe this is for the next Q&As over the next few days, when maybe your questions will start exploring what we have to do. And maybe understanding this is up there. And before we actually understand this, we need to start do some research down here. They only gave these talks to open your eyes to what's up there. But the idea is not to get confused by that, and not to get scared by that. It's to give us that motivation to say, alright, if that's up there, I don't understand it. Let's not ask questions about what's up there. Let's research what's down here, and then it'll help me understand what's up there. I think that was the aim, of what this first day was about. That's all I'm going to say, and maybe the next few days you'll explore what's down there, which will help you maybe when we come back to the final day to then fully go full circle and understand what day one was about. That's all I'm saying.
Maya means a sat, which means false. And if it's false, it keeps changing. It's constantly changing. God is one and us. He never changes. If you think about the Moon Mantra, I'll do this quickly. God is one. What is Maya? Maya is of one being. It's of many forms. Satnam, his name is true. Maya's name is false. So if you invert the whole of the meanings of Moon Mantra, you got the description of God, but then you've also got the description of Maya. That's all you need to do. It's simple as that. What did you got on so